And here they come, folks, out of the corner, getting ready to get underway. They're 2 by 2. They're lining things up. It's been a quick start so far. We are underway. Green, green, green as the drivers race their way down into turn number 1. Simon Sykes will lead them under the Cooper Tire Bridge through turn number 1. Again, the key here is that the fact these drivers running right after the IndyCar practice session, so the grip levels are going to be drastically different than they had throughout yesterday's test sessions. We have one driver dropping a wheel further back. You see the dust up on the exit of turn number 1, but otherwise 2, 3 wide. They'll line them up through the downhill off-camber keyhole, turn number 2. This is where you got to watch getting on the throttle. Just keep it on the racetrack on the opening lap. One driver almost going off. Everyone else taking evasive maneuvers, and they'll roll their way down now into turn number 4.
We watch them as they come down off of the long straightaway. Side by side up there at the lead. We'll watch them as they come through the right-hander. Now they kind of single file it through here. It is the number 6 and the number 22. The number 6, Papasavas. He is right ahead of the Simon Sykes car and puts a little distance between he and the number 22.
Field back into turn number 9. We've got a couple side-by-side battles back further in the field. They'll all single out as they head through turn number 9, down through 10, and up through Thunder Valley back towards 11, and it's Clark leading.
Papasavas making up the for that penalty that he was assessed, takes over the lead, and he's got Simon Sykes right on his tail.
Yeah, there's a driver a little bit loose coming through the carousel. One of the biggest droppers there, Ethan Ho, started on the outside of the front row, has dropped back down into the 5th position. He'll have to grab the spot. Papasavas, as we said, got a good jump. The Loveland, Ohio driver, the Jay Howard Driver Development number 6 machine, coming here 5th place in points, 3 podium finishes on the year, but has not yet got that victory. Looking for that first win, and man, would he love to do it here on the home racetrack of the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Simon Sykes, of course, the championship battle alongside Lockie Hughes. They're 2nd and 3rd right now. Not surprising. They'd find each other. There's one driver who's gone off the racetrack, well off, dropped the wheel on the outside, coming into the braking zone of the keyhole. He's gone all the way off track. A lot of the times, John, and you'll know this, you can get on the outside of that area and come all the way back onto the racetrack.
But I don't think we're going to be that lucky. It looks like that driver may be stuck in the sand, but so we're still running green, and they're in front of Tom Michaels.
Yep, it's still the 6 and the 22. Papasavas and Sykes there at the front. Then you got 3 car lengths back. Lockie Hughes continues to run there in 3rd.
Simon Sykes with a half a car length over Papasavas. He takes a quick look to the inside, falls back in line. It's about 3 car lengths back to, that was Ethan Ho running in 2nd, and now the yellow flag is out.
Yeah, guys, I think the driver went off potentially one of the Jay Howard Driver Development cars. We'll see when they come back around. It looked like one of the black and blue machines. They'll work their way back around. We are full course yellow on the racetrack. Everyone will bring it down to pace car speed, and we'll dial things back in. As John had said earlier, though, that's a great start for Papasavas, who turned the fastest lap of the race, still got the pole position, still got the $1,000 check from Cooper Tires, but the penalty, of course, coming afterwards. He drops down to 3rd, but hey, no less the worse for wear now as he finds himself P1. Sykes in 2nd. Hughes, Clark, and Ethan Ho. Ho drops from 2nd back into the 5th spot. Garcia in 6th. Cox up into 7th. Maury 8th. Douglas 9th. And Chase Gardner into the 10th spot. Driver apparently off. Actually, the blue car wasn't the Jay Howard blue. It was the exclusive Autosport blue of Avery Towns, the Texan in the number 93. We could see him coming in. I'm sure we'll be able to get a replay of that from the truck when they get a chance to find it. He just essentially, John, got into the braking zone, dropped the left wheels off, and at that point, you're pretty much a passenger.
Exactly right. Once he got into the gravel, he had nowhere to go. We're going to get a replay of that on the big screen right now. He got squeezed a little bit, it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was trying to go around the outside, making it 3 wide, and he just got squeezed off the racetrack.
I think one of the VRD drivers potentially got into him. I think maybe the 97 of Ping, Zach Ping, potentially got into the side of him coming in. Listen, when you're coming into the braking zone like that, you know that corner's like, it's blind as you're trying to figure out where to place yourself to come to the right-hand corner. And, man, if you get somebody coming across on you to make contact, not much you can do at that point. And number one, you're getting the contact. You're potentially trying to avoid. You're into the grass. And then you're really just along for the ride, as we said. So that's Avery Towns in the number 93 machine. It's been an up-and-down year. He's had some really flashes of great speed throughout the season, but hasn't really had that good run of luck. And thankfully, John, this is a triple header. So hopefully they'll get him back on track. Hopefully there's not enough damage. Knowing the speed he had rolling into the corner If he wasn't able to woe it up, there could be some damage getting into the tires there. But nonetheless, he's able to come back tomorrow and do it 2 more times.
Rusty Bell, you've got a view of that. I don't know. I know that's a long way away from your announce position, but did he make it all the way to the tire barrier, or did he get it stopped in the gravel?
I don't think he made it to the tire barrier. They're going to try to flat tow him out of there, which
Awesome.
usually means there's not any damage to the car. They'd have a wrecker out there lifting the car off the ground. So just now starting to pull him, and looks like he is going to probably rejoin. So they've got him pulled, or have got him pulled partway through the gravel trap, and he should be able to rejoin here in just a minute.
Yeah, we got a shot there, John, on the cameras that we have in the coverage. You can see that he, long-range shot, was getting drugged back at least to the area, potentially able to refire and get himself going again. Obviously, we'll cross our fingers that there's no damage to that race car.
Yeah, of course, he's going to bring some gravel out onto the racetrack, so hopefully he'll know enough to stay on the grass long enough to shake some of that gravel loose so he doesn't bring it out right at the exit of the keyhole turn.
Yeah, the Texan Avery Towns, a lot of experience, not a lot, but a number of years of experience running the SCCA program in Formula Mazda. Also ran in the FX, Formula X category there as well. First time jumping up, though, into a high-level program like we have here in the USF Pro Championships and USF 2000. Again, one of the biggest reasons why we elected to start our USF Juniors program was that the level of competition so high, as Avery Towns pulling away there now from the bottom of the keyhole. So high the competition in USF 2000. Back in 2010, 11, and 12, John, we started this. We'd have drivers come out of karts, obviously, jump right in to USF 2000. But once the level of competition got as tough as it was, so those karters were just looking for something else, maybe to get their feet wet. So, indeed, potentially rolling back here with Avery Towns, getting a little bit of information there from Rusty Bell that we may have some damage. Can you see the damage, Rusty?
Yeah, the front wing is definitely bent. He's going to have to come into the pits for that, but he is out of the gravel and traveling down the race course, making a call to the pits to get that wing either fixed or they'll see if they can tweak it maybe.
Yeah, they're right in front of us here, Rusty. We can see it, John, down in front of us here. They pulled the front wing out for Avery Towns, the exclusive Autosport crew, ready to go to work.
So he's already gone a lap down, so sadly it's not going to get any better for him for this stop. But he'll be able to use this as another practice session, if you will, and he's got a shot to turn a really fast lap, recovering if he does, and possibly get himself on the front row for the second race.
Yeah, interesting for him. I don't see that they have any fresh tires down there. They may have already kind of used up their tires for what we've done with the tires they have for the 3 races that we have here. So, indeed, here he comes. Avery Towns rolling in here on the number 93. We'll meet us here at pit lane. They're having a look at this thing right now, potentially shutting it down, looking if there's more damage. There could be some so he's got the wing damage, I think, John, from the contact potentially just going off the racetrack, but they're having a look at that right rear, and that would have been the damage from the contact for the driver who made contact with him coming into the braking zone of 2.
Yeah, exactly right. There was some side-by-side contact there, and I think that may have been what precipitated his going off, and then the wing damage, most likely digging into that gravel trap, bent that front wing. So they're working to get the nose replaced right now. They did a kind of a prefectory check of the right rear, and they're still having a good look at that, but at the moment doesn't appear to be any serious action on the rear of the car, so hopefully they'll be able to get him back out there.
Yeah, for Avery, you just want seat time, right? Looks to me like, the pace car indeed making its way up off the racetrack, coming out of the carousel. We're going to go back into the hands of Evagoras Papasabas, the Ohio driver, on the loud pedal, and we're back to green flag racing, and here comes the 22 of Simon Sykes immediately, having a look to the inside, little cover down to the bottom. And he goes to the bottom again. Look at this move. Aggressive racing here for Simon Sykes, trying to find a way by. Looks like Matt Clark potentially getting to the inside of Lockie Hughes as well. That will be the battle for P3. They're going to be side by side coming up into turn number 1. Indeed, here they come. You can see the leaders getting to use the wide line. Those further back, maybe 3rd, 4th, and 5th, have to low line it down the bottom, cover off the bottom of that racetrack. They'll have to pinch the corner a little bit. But Rusty, as they work their way to turn number 1, Papasabas has already done what he needed to do, and that's make sure you hold the lead through turn 1.
Already got about 4 car lengths in the lead right now, but a great battle right now for 3rd, side by side. I think that's Matt Clark trying to come back.
Yep, it's actually a battle for 4th right now. They make their way up here. Matt Clark in the number 1, right behind him, the 68 of Ethan Ho. That's the way they continue on. Oh, we've got a couple of cars, 3 cars, that have spun and made contact at the bottom of turn 6, coming off of turn 6. And we're going to have the full course yellow coming out here once again. One of those cars is able to keep going, but the other 2 are up close to the tire barrier. on the outside coming off of turn 6.
So one of the drivers, most definitely the 67 of Elliot Cox, I want to say it may have been either the 23 of Douglas or the 7 of Al Morey that went down. Dark-colored car down the inside. We'll be able to have a look here. I'm sure that the number 24 of Max Garcia was involved as well. There's Al Morey coming through. So as they come by, we're going to be able to tell you. I think that was Jacob Douglas that potentially made a move down to the inside. Of course, we'll get a chance for the truck to re-rack that for us and get us a replay. But coming down the order right now, Douglas, Cox, and Garcia, I believe the ones involved there. And I think we're going to see potentially Douglas try to come down the inside and potentially make contact with the back of Garcia. And then around they went. I got a feeling that Cox was just collateral damage here. As here comes Garcia.
Big damage to the rear wing.
Let's see if they can go to work on this thing, though. Try to keep him on the lead lap. Garcia, again, just 14 years of age. Literally had to miss the first weekend of St. Petersburg until he turned 14 to come run here in USF 2000. He's going to be one to watch next year for sure. And I'll guarantee you that the race control is not going to like this at all, because we were looking to see if we couldn't get some green flag laps in. And again, that's not a place you're going to be able to make a move to the inside like that.
Yeah, again, and it's these drivers, the youngsters especially, many of them coming right out of karting. Not all of these drivers came through the juniors ranks, which is a great way for them to learn their racing smarts and learn the whole thing about situational awareness. We have the same problem in the F4 series, obviously, as these drivers get a little too exuberant sometimes, and the red mist comes down and they make some decisions that they maybe could have done better. But they'll get it sorted out, no question about it. These drivers learning more with every race, learning their racecraft, learning their ability to respect their position on the racetrack and respect their competitors as well.
That, I believe, was for 6th, 7th, and 8th, because that has moved Gardner up into 6th, Al Morey up into 7th, Max Taylor goes 8th, Danny Tuchelski and Sam Corey now up into 9th and 10th. Hopefully we'll get a chance to get a replay of this. And again, that was Garcia, Cox, and Douglas. And I believe it was Douglas to the inside, making left front to right rear contact on Garcia. Of course, getting, luckily, maybe just into the wing and not so much into the right rear of that car. We'll see if Garcia was able to get back out. But again, another driver coming into pit lane here as well has potential damage. Maybe that's actually probably Avery Towns coming back in. Why not use this again to see if they can't make a little bit more repairs to that car, even though he's a couple of laps down, as we know. As indeed the number 93 coming into pit lane here again for Avery Towns. They'll have a look at that machine.
Looks like they might have had some loose body work there, because they're putting a little tape on that.
There you go.
That shock cover on the front of the car just to get it locked down.
John, here's a closer look at the drivers involved in the incident. There's the 67, the drive planning machine of Elliot Cox, the Indiana driver, who kind of, as I said, looks to me like just collateral damage, getting hung off to dry there. We'll see whether we had some conversations. Looks to me like the AMR safety crew not just playing cleanup, but also maybe playing a little bit of buffer between the drivers as
they're having a discussion. Yeah.
All right, folks, let's have a look at this here. We're going to get a look here, a couple of different looks of the incident that we saw down there at the bottom here in turn number 6. We'll see. That's a 4-5-6 combination down the hill. Look a little bit further back, coming down to the bottom of the racetrack to the inside. It looked to me like, Douglas is actually to the inside of the 67. He has the spot on Cox, but goes a little too deep and then gets into the rear, actually, of Garcia. Again, here's the other shot from a little further back. And look at that. Yeah, all Cox was trying to do was stay around the outside, and the movement then moved him in here, and he had right rear contact. We'll get a chance to get one more look at that when we have a shot. The first replay was the best shot of it coming down the hill. And listen, it's a very enticing corner, John.
Oh, sure.
You come down, the driver's setting up open, you're going down the inside. And this really was talked about. This is interesting, because I guarantee our race director, Joel Miller, is going to sit down these drivers, because here's the replay again. This is what we talked about. You've made the one move. Yeah. You can't try for the second, right? So he's already on the inside. He's gone too deep. And then you see as Douglas pushes, you're going to see the contact with left front to right rear. So Douglas is probably going to have both the right front and left rear damage, or left front damage. And that's what Joel Miller, our race director, talked to about this. And I actually was sitting in on the drivers' meeting, and it was something we've talked about the drivers. When you're making a pass under the brakes and you've got that first pass done, the next pass looks so enticing, right?
Yeah.
But there's no way you're going to get to the inside of that driver on threshold braking.
Sure.
And that's an issue we've had. They've tried to get that one extra pass done
right
when they've already got the first pass done. And the minute you get in there, that driver's he doesn't think you're coming, and he's already turning into the corner.
Sure, exactly.
Douglas is coming in, and Garcia's already completely rolling through the corner already.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Again, the racecraft, this is why you're here. This is what you learn.
Yep.
Ideally, you'll learn it here so that by the middle of the season it's done. Although Douglas is a second-year driver, you hate to see that from him. He hasn't had the great start to the season. Moved over to Pabst Racing, a strong podium finish at Road America for the Kiwi, Jacob Douglas. But again, just maybe a little too overzealous at the bottom of turn number 6 to bring out our second yellow of the race.
Yeah, he was on the podium at Sebring as
Yeah.
well, so he's had a couple
True.
of podium finishes.
Yep.
So it's a learning experience. It can happen to any of these drivers for sure, whether they're experienced or not. So that was just being in the wrong place at the wrong time, trying to maybe get that one extra pass in, and that was what set off that chain reaction.
And I guarantee he got down the bottom, saw it happening, was trying to kind of roll a little bit more on that brake pedal, right? And it just obviously, he was probably releasing to try to get by Cox.
Yep.
And then, of course, they made the contact with Max Garcia. So Garcia's still on the lead lap. The Pabst Racing team has had him in and out trying to get that thing dialed in. He is back in the pit lane again, but is still on the lead lap. Cox is out, Douglas is out, Towns is out. So 3 drivers part of the attrition. There's the number 67 of Elliot Cox with damage to the left rear of that machine. The crew will go to work getting him ready for the doubleheader tomorrow, race 2 and 3 of this Discount Tire Grand Prix of Mid-Ohio. Reset the front as we're getting ready to come back around here in a bit. Papa Sabas is the leader. Sykes runs second. Hughes third. So second and first in the points. Currently second and third on the racetrack. Clark runs in fourth. Ethan Ho fell back from second to fifth, but still running strongly. Chase Gardner, the Texan for Exclusive Autosport, taking advantage of that contact. Those 3 drivers moving him up into 6th. Al Morey 7th. Max Taylor 8th. Danny Duchelski in the 9th spot. And Sam Corey rounding out the top 10. Garciarci. And look who's come up to 12th already, taking advantage of this. It is Schrag. Thomas Schrag in the number 90 for Exclusive Autosport to 12th from 23rd. So, wow, big mover here, getting a couple of yellows. He's going to want some green flag racing. We have 7 laps in. When they come back around, it'll be 8 laps of 20. So still 12 laps to go here. Lots of time on the clock. Behind Schrag, it's Johnson, Jamison, and Ping, your top 15. Are we going to go one more? The car coming off in pit lane, yeah, we're going to do probably one more lap. They are bringing the 67, off. But expect one more lap under the yellow here with Papa Sabas leading the way. Again, folks, let's have a look here. We got a couple more races coming tomorrow, so we're looking forward to that. One of the things we're looking forward to, again, over through this next couple of years is a brand new association that we have with the Skip Barber Racing School. They are the official racing school of the USF Pro Championships, and one of the keys is the scholarship that they have for our USF Juniors program. And there are some pretty impressive drivers in the Skip Barber Formula Car Series this year, one of them being Sebastian Weldon, of course, the son of the late Dan Weldon. We also have Jackson Bell, which is Townsend Bell's son. He's been impressive, won the first 4 races of the year. So a lot of really good carters in that program as well. And again, the Skip Barber Racing School, like I said, inviting drivers to compete for over $500,000 in prizes, including the aforementioned $100,000 scholarship for the season champion to enter USF Juniors. The Skip Barber Racing School Formula Car Series is an 8-weekend, 16-race series that will take place at the most iconic tracks in America with high visibility in a pro race atmosphere. The Skip Barber Formula Car features a 160 horsepower turbo engine, paddle shift 6-speed transmission, and Goodyear Eagle racing slicks. You get a professional crew, expert instruction, video and data analysis, hospitality, and more. If you want to get into this program, folks, a great way to do it. Sign up today at skipbarber.com. And, John, you look at the Skip Barber, the list of alumni, Joseph Newgarden being one of them, all these guys that ran through that program, Ryan Hunter Ray, so many great drivers have come through that program.
Exactly right.
Again, here comes the car of Max Garcia rolling out in front of us here on the start-finish. He's going to try to catch back up again. Still on the lead lap. I believe he'll come across and put lap number 8 in the books. The rest of the field rolling their way down through the corner of the incident, turn number 6. So I believe we'll be going green next time by. It'll be lap number 9. So hopefully we'll get 11 laps of racing through to the checkered flag.
Tom Michaels, you got a view of the area where the incident was. Are all the safety vehicles clear?
It is clean and green down here, John.
Great, Tom. Thanks. Thanks
Love
for that.
to see it. Yeah, let's go to the site, right? And Tom Michaels helping us out there. Let's see what happens here. Papa Sabas already got the one defense of a restart, and that's one of the toughest things to do. The beauty of this particular track, not like an Indianapolis Motor Speedway where you get the green and you're literally driving for 4 hours until you get to turn number 1 and you pass and be passed. Nice thing here is if you get a good jump, you're the first one through turn number 1, and likely you'll be able to hold them off coming down into the keyhole. At that point, you have to make sure that you're on it going down into turn number 4. And guys, we're ready to get things fired up again. We'll put lap number 9 in the books, 11 to go, and we are back to green flag racing, and Papasavas with a strong run. Sykes will tuck in behind him to try to get that run down into the keyhole, but again, the little bit of aero wash they have coming through turn number 1, the air coming off the front wing of the car. Sykes will have to pedal a little bit coming through there to make sure he keeps it on the racetrack. Set up for that run down into the keyhole. Everybody up to the left side of the racetrack. Now we'll fan wide. Down to the bottom comes, I believe, Lockie Hughes as the number 1 of Matt Clark going to work on him. Everybody else clean and green coming through turn number 1. Back down through the keyhole here. Right in front of Rusty, and away they come. Top 4 lining up.
Down the straight, there's a big peak out there. Matt Clark trying to get around Lockie Hughes. He's going to be on the outside, Tom, though, but he may take third.
Yep, they're side by side coming into turn number 4. Still right together on the racetrack. Coming up on the outside of the turn. Trying to get around Matt Clark. Clark able to get around there and pick up the position.
And the top 2 have broken away by about some 5 car lengths, but that battle for third with Lockie Hughes, Matt Clark, and Ethan Ho is a tight one, nose to tail, and about 3 car lengths back to the 6th place runner, Chase Gardner.
John, we just saw 2 ways, right? We saw the incident of not how to make a pass in turn 6. Then we saw Matt Clark really executing it well, and Lockie Hughes understanding it's a long race, right? Yep. He was on the outside of 6, could have forced the issue, but instead kind of tucked back in behind, lived to fight another lap. Clark goes to 3rd, and right there as well is Lockie Hughes. He'll come back to fight. It's a long season, and he's the point leader coming in.
I was impressed with Ethan Ho. He fell back just a little bit at the restart. He's made up all that ground and is right on the back of Lockie Hughes.
Yeah, starts are always tough, right? You want to do what you can, especially if you're a driver like this who's focusing on USF Juniors this year. Ethan Ho's coming in to try to get a good result. Doesn't want to make any mistakes. Fell back a bit at the start. Wasn't overly aggressive, but has fought his way back in. He's got a good race car. He knows he can dial things in. Behind him is Chase Gardner. He's getting chased pretty hard here by Sam Corey as well. Looks like, Rusty, we're going to go 2 wide right in front of you.
Right down in front of me, still side by side. That's not going to get sorted out till turn 4.
Yep, that battle right now for 6th place. Almost touching as they come off of turn number 5. And right now it is at 95. Chase Gardner has the position on Sam Corey.
And looking back for that is the front 2 have already broken away. Papasavas and Simon Sykes by some 10 car lengths. And looking back for that battle for about the 6th place position, Sam Corey continues to move in. Very fast car, and he's had success at Mid-Ohio before.
Hey, John, I'll tell you, they're kind of stacking up behind that Gardner and Corey fight. You can see the top 5 drivers kind of stretch away. This time, Gardner getting a little bit of room. But as they came down into turn number 4 last time by, the beauty of that corner is you can pass on the inside or the outside. Yep. If you get positioned on the inside, you've got it. If you got positioned on the outside, you're the first guy to the exit. Gives you the inside over into turn number 5. Right now, Papasavas still leads as Sykes looking to get aggressive here right now. 11 laps down, 9 laps still to go. Sykes runs 2nd. Clark and Hughes 3rd and 4th. Look at the fight for the 2 drivers up front. We got 2x2 paired off, 1, 2, and 3, 4. A little further back, a side-by-side battle there. Again, a couple of the drivers in the darker colored cars. I believe that's Taylor and Johnson potentially fighting it out. Garcia Arce in there as well, as is Dechelski. So a lot of great running here midway through, finally getting in Rusty to the rhythm of the race.
Yeah, all single file this time, at least at the top end of the straightaway. No real challenges.
Nope, no real challenge, but there is a close battle going on there for 1st and 2nd, and then for 3rd as well. A gap back, and we continue to watch Gardner and Corey. They have a Donnybrook there for 6th.
And down into turn 9, it was Sykes taking a quick peek, but still a little too far back to do anything. This time he'll look to driver's right, heading up the hill towards turn number 11, but it's still Papasavas leading.
Nikita Johnson looking impressive. He qualified 6th, got shuffled back in both of those incidents, and now he's in recovery mode, moving back up to 11th, and he's all over the back of Max Taylor for a top 10 spot.
You know, one thing I find interesting, and I guess we see it a lot of the times in these races, same thing kind of goes with IndyCar. When you go back to green flag racing, everybody gets aggressive. It's the best opportunity to pass. Everybody's stacked up. So for those first couple laps after a restart, everybody's back on it. You're fighting. You're side by side. And that's kind of that's why cautions breed caution. precautions, right? Because you have a chance. Once you get that 2-3 laps into a green flag run, everybody settles back in again. You're able to stretch out a bit, and then you get those one-on-one battles, and we're seeing a bunch of those happen right now. Everybody's kind of settling in. You got drivers like Nikita Johnson trying to recover from where they were. You got Thomas Schrag, who started at the tail of the field in number 90 for Exclusive Autosport, another Ohio driver looking to have a good run. He settles in now. He's got top 5 pace, but now he's getting a chance to race these cars. Remember, he's got a lot of F1600 experience, John, but doesn't have a lot of experience racing these cars. He's done a lot of testing, obviously, all day yesterday, but man, wheel to wheel is a bit different than just circulating and banging out laps.
Yeah, absolutely. Leaders coming into the view of Steve Conley.
Yeah, back into turn number 9. They'll stay single file through the top 4. Best battle right now is back for about that 6th position between Gardner, Coe, and Corey.
Yeah, as they run on the racetrack right now, the big battle will be watching the points championship between the guys up front, Simon Sykes, and as I talked about before, Lockie Hughes, who is the point leader coming in by 3. Papasavas back by, I believe, 90 points right now, but a win here would help move him a little bit closer to the championship, tighten everything back up. Field streaming up nicely here right now. A little couple battles further back, which we like to see. Good scrap there for 8th as Nikita Johnson, as John had mentioned, working his way closer and closer to that battle for 8th spot. Maury in the number 7 for Jay Howard Driver Development. Johnson in the number 17. Big smoke coming out of there. The dust coming from turn number 1, like a driver potentially going off. We'll have a look to see who that might have been. Talking about Garcia, who's back on the track. He continues to circulate, cross the line right now to put lap number 13 in the books, but he's going to need, John, another yellow to get himself back up into the fight. The Paps team did a great job to get him back where he needed to be, got the wing back on the car. He's on the lead lap, but right now without another yellow, he's going to be where he is.
Nikita Johnson going for another one, Tom, side by side in your view.
As they come around, we continue to watch Nikita Johnson. He is right there and picks off the position. Nikita Johnson now up into 8th around Maury.
And now Nikita Johnson making a look for that 8th position as he'll continue to move upward. Al Maury right in front of him, right up on the rear wing as they head up through Thunder Valley. One car puts a couple wheels off, back a little further back, but keeps everything straight heading up towards 11.
John, it's been really interesting to watch the development of Nikita Johnson over the year. Ran in USF Juniors last year, comes in here as a 14-year-old, wins at St. Petersburg in the home race. Like, wow, what a great run for this young kid. Turns 15. And we've seen this maturation over the first half of the season where he hasn't been that guy like he was last year where, man, he was diving for it. He came and ran the finale last year, too, and was super aggressive. Got himself on the podium, but was really aggressive. Some of the veterans in the class were like, oh, wait, what's going on?
Yeah.
Back down a bit here, boy. We're trying to win a championship. But he has calmed down and got refocused. He's doing a lot of testing overseas as well. Man, we're just seeing this really calculating young 15-year-old showing it, and he's going to get another run again. Yeah, big battle, guys. Let's call it down into 1.
And it's going to be Papasavas and Sykes. Papasavas is able to hold him off there momentarily, but here comes Sykes, peeking to the outside, going through 6. Loses ground as they come through 6 there, but it is still a battle going into 9.
And that battle is tighter than it has been the entire race. Papasavos got about a half a car length up on Sykes as they head down the hill underneath the bridge in turn 10, back up the hill and towards 11. Will Sykes peak out here in 11? No.
It'll be 5 laps to go when they come by, and I'm telling you who's loving this right now. It's Matt Clark back in 3rd spot. He's like, go, boys, go, because he is closing up, and we'll get even more draft. But I'll tell you, Simon Sykes, what he's got to do, and he knows it, he's got to push young Evagoras Papasavas. Not a winner yet on the seasons, or his program, not last year, not this year, so the kid wants a win so bad. And if you're a veteran driver like Simon, this is when you start putting that pressure on you. See if you can't push him to make a mistake. Matt Clark right there as well. So is Lockie Hughes. But this for Simon Sykes is throwing everything you have at him to see if you can't force that mistake. You might not be able to find a way on pace, but you got to force that mistake.
We've really got a 4-way battle for the lead, Rusty Bell. They're right in front of you.
Yeah, I was just going to say that all 4 cars equally spaced this time down. Nobody going to peek out yet, but they are all as close as they've been right now and all together.
Yeah, and they've got a big gap then over the 5th place car of Ethan Ho. Meanwhile, the leaders, they crest turn number 5 down into 6. No change. They've been that way for several laps now. The leader, Evagoras Papasavas.
And Sykes continues to look for any little opening that he can find, but he has fallen back about a half a car length behind Papasavos. The top 4 are nose to tail, and then some 20 car lengths back to the 5th place running, Ethan Ho.
John, I think a battle we're going to see coming here pretty soon, maybe for 6 with Chase Gardner and Nikita Johnson. Then number 17 is the hot rod. Last time by, he was probably about 0.6 or 0.7 of a second quicker than Adam Gardner, so he's closing up. But I'll tell you this right now as well. For Simon Sykes, they're on the radio telling him, hey, listen, Lockie Hughes, your championship contender, is 2 spots behind you.
Yep.
Finish where you are, and we're going to get the point lead. This is key right now. Listen, we're going to chip away at it. We don't need to win this race. Yeah, we'd love a victory. See if you can't force Papasavos into a mistake. But second's not the worst thing with Lockie Hughes back in P4. And that's big picture thinking, and that's what Augie Paps is going to be looking at. This guy wants a championship in USF 2000. Augie does so badly. Simon Sykes could be the guy that delivers to him, but it's a long season. You've got to make all the right moves, and that's the push we're seeing right now. Sykes trying to go after Papasavos, but as they work their way down, Tom Michaels into turn number 4, 5, and 6. Sykes has just got to keep up that pressure.
Yeah, right now, no challenger at the front 4, equidistance. We're going to have a battle coming up here for 6th place once again. The 95 Chase Gardner so far holding off Nikita Johnson, but they are right together on the racetrack.
And Nikita Johnson continues to be one of the fastest, and he is right up underneath the rear wing of Chase Gardner as they exit turn number 9. He gets by Gardner. He's got a quick shot at Ethan Ho as the 3 of those head back up the hill towards turn 11.
Yeah, I talked to Chase Gardner. We had him on the pre-show of the race here, and he talked about the fact he knows he can come forward. Started 13th. He knows he was able to get up there as he's done it before. Now up into 6th. Now the key for him, he's going to battle it here. He's going to try to see if he can't close up on Ho. Let's have a look at the laps as they come through here in terms of lap times. Ethan Ho at 23.7, Gardner 23.7, Johnson 23.5. Another 0.2 of a second. He's closed it down to just 0.3, and that's really only about a car length coming out of turn number 1. There's the battle for 1st and 2nd, and maybe for Matt Clark, John, the key for him is he's gapped up on Hughes by almost 0.8 of a second. That's going to allow him to focus forward and not have to worry about behind him. This could bring Matt Clark back into the fight, especially once 1st and 2nd, Papasavos and Sykes start scrapping it out.
Exactly right. Here comes Johnson one more time, Rusty.
Around on the outside, he's going to make that outside pass, Tom. It looks like he's got good speed.
They're side by side as they come through 4. Still side by side now, peeking ahead. The 17 of Nikita Johnson. Meanwhile, we got a real dandy battle for the lead. Papasavos and Sykes.
That battle for the lead, Sykes had a look to the inside as Papasavos would slide a little wide, taking a peek to the driver's right. Nothing there, and he'll stay single file through 11.
Yeah, that move to look to the inside of turn 9, it's a hard place to pass, almost impossible. It's really a low percentage pass, but as long as you're in the mirror, that's when the driver can potentially roll on the throttle a little early. You crest the hill there, the car gets really light. And again, this is Sykes putting pressure on Papasavos, who is yet to win here in USF 2000. Will this be the first day for the young Ohio driver? Does he win here at Mid-Ohio? We will see. Laps winding down. They'll see the white flag next time by. 2 laps remaining. Papasavos, Sykes, Clark, and Hughes, the top 4. 3 seconds back to Ethan Ho, who is now getting closed up here on Nikita Johnson. Can he get back into the top 5 after falling almost outside the top 10? Johnson, now he was outside the top 10, I believe.
Absolutely.
He is now 6th. Gardner 7th. Corey, Maury, and Garcia Arce up into turn number 2, the keyhole. And again, the fight up front, though. Sykes trying to find a way by Papasavos. He'll look to the inside. Tom, not quite.
It's getting closer and closer. Papasavos, Sykes, half a car length separating the first 2. 2.5 car lengths back. We've got the 3rd place battle right now. Matt Clark having gotten around Lockie Hughes a few laps ago.
And the leaders back into turn number 9 is less than a car length between the top 2. About 2 back to Matt Clark and Lockie Hughes. Those top 4 have pulled away, but taking a look to the inside, nothing there. I thought Sykes was going to jump out there in 11.
Nothing more stressful than a final lap trying to win your first race in a program like USF 2000 with a veteran driver, 3-time winner on the season, and potential championship contender hot on the gearbox. White flag flies. This time by. They'll work their way down into turn number 1. Sykes has got room now as Clark has fallen back a bit. He's got about 0.6. Sykes does. Breathing room to go to work. They'll work their way out underneath that Cooper Tire Bridge, as we said, down into the keyhole now. Here comes the fight. This is where you get it. You have to make the move coming out of the keyhole. Roll on that throttle. Get the run. This is where it's going to happen. They'll work their way down the back straightaway. He is right up on the gearbox, coming down to start finish. Sykes looking to see if he can't line things up on Papasavas, who 100% will defend to the inside, try to low line into turn number 4. They'll work their way down now. They're side by side coming into the corner. Around the outside, I believe, comes Sykes. He'll hold it coming to the inside as well. Side by side contact. Matt Clark ready to attack. Back down into turn number 6 again. Side by side. They're working it. Papasavas still has the position. Right there, though, Matt Clark. Call it 3 drivers into turn number 9 this time through. Looked at Lockie Hughes ready to clean up the mess should something happen. Papasavas trying to get the victory. Only one more shot, and that will be the dive to the inside of the carousel. But watch for Papasavas to cover it off. Top 4 drivers separated by just over a second. Evagoras Papasavas trying to get his first win here in USF 2000. Out of the final couple of corners, Sykes is going to be right there. But the winner in race 1 is Evagoras Papasavas. The Jay Howard Driver Development Crew out to the wall, and they are pumped. Papasavas wins by 0.3 of a second. Sykes in second. Clark and Hughes right there. And John, how about that drive for Nikita Johnson outside the top 10, and he rolls his way all the way up to P5. And the fast lap of the race as well for Johnson by 0.3 over Simon Sykes. What a performance.
He's going to start on the pole for race number 2. That's great to see. But, yeah, Nikita Johnson may be the drive of the day, but take nothing away from young Evagoras Papasavas as he takes his first win in the championship.
Yeah, listen, that is an awesome deal for Evagoras Papasavas. Another winner on the program. And Jay Howard Driver Development, their young pilot, scoring the win. And for an Ohio driver, too, the home state victory.
You bet.
Man, he'll be pumped for sure. Papasavas with the win. Simon Sykes in second. There you see Matt Clark will round out the top 3. Your point leader at one time, Lockie Hughes 4th. It will be now Simon Sykes who steps to the top of the podium in terms of championship standings. Nikita Johnson outside the top 10 fought himself back into 5th. Ethan Ho in 6th. Sam Corey 7th. What happened to Chase Gardner on the final lap? He loses a bunch of spots. He goes all the way back to 10th. Sam Corey, George Garcia Arce, Al Mori finished there then from 6th back to 9th. And Chase Gardner, who was running nicely there in 6th and 7th, ends up falling back into the 10th spot. Thomas Schrag, as we said, though, pretty solid run for him. 23rd up into 13th, a 10-position improvement. And he'll take that lap time, remember, as well, his fastest, whatever it may be. He'll use that to reset to see where he potentially could be for race number 2 and 3.
Simon Sykes, I'm sure disappointed that he wasn't able to make that final pass, but he's got to be the consolation prize is he's now the points leader.
All right, folks, time for me to head to Victory Lane. Lots more to come. Stay with us. We'll be back pretty soon. We got celebrations coming for the top 3 drivers in USF 2000.
Thanks, Rob Howden, as Rob makes his way down to the victory podium, as this is our final race of the day for Friday. But that doesn't mean there's not more festivities yet to come. Rob will be introducing the top 3 finishers of this race, and you'll get a chance to hear those podium celebrations right here on the PA system. Oh, sorry, Rob. As our rather cramped announce booth here in the on the 3rd floor of the Cooper Tires Press Tower as we bump together as Rob's making his way down to the victory podium. Gentlemen, let's take a quick trip around the course for you to say your final goodbyes for this first day of the Honda Indy 200 weekend. Rusty Bell, been a pretty good day of racing.
Been a great day of racing with that actually the first race of the day. Pretty good one there, right to sort of end it and cue it up for tomorrow. But great crowd here at Mid-Ohio. The campground is filling up right now. It's been filling up all day, and we're looking forward to a great weekend of racing, kicked off by Friday afternoon's action here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course.
You can see on the big screens Evagoras Papasavas with a big celebration as he climbs out of that car. Tom Michaels, how about your impressions of this first day?
And folks, welcome back down here to Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. We're in Victory Lane for the first of 3 races in our USF 2000 program, our Discount Tire Grand Prix of Mid-Ohio, and a first-time winner, which is always exciting, especially when you're in your home state here as well. Helping us pass out the winner trophy will be Chris Pantani, but let's start with the driver coming home in 3rd spot, was there to watch all the action, almost capitalized. Coming home in 3rd spot today for D-Force Racing, Matt Clark, finishing 3rd. Great run there for Matt coming home in 3rd spot. The fight up front was race long. The push, the pressure throughout the entire race. Some contact on the final lap. It was aggressive for sure. Driver coming home, though, in 2nd spot. And a new point leader here in USF 2000 from Pabst Racing, Simon Sykes. taking over that point lead with a strong second-place run. But, of course, one more driver to come, and we'll bring that trophy up in a second after I get a chance to do a quick interview. This is a first-time winner here in USF 2000. What a great drive, folks. See all the pressure throughout the race. How about a round of applause from Jay Howard Driver Development, the winner, Evagoras Papasavvas! Down here first. Hey, dude, congratulations. The first win's always huge. First, let's talk about just your emotion on the cool-down lap. You were pumping that fist coming across the line. What does it mean to win here in USF 2000?
Yeah, I mean, I've worked so hard for this ever since the off-season, just been working super hard. This was the ultimate goal, and it was just, I'm speechless. You know, first win against competition like this, it's really something else.
And at the home state as well.
Yes, this is my home state. Live 2.5 hours down from here. So, yeah, it's just great. Win at my home race just makes it even more special.
Let's talk about the race car itself. You were very strong. Obviously, Simon put a ton of pressure on you. He was on you everywhere. You didn't flinch. Talk about that last lap, man. You were obviously fighting for your life out there.
Oh yeah, the last lap, and it wasn't even just the last lap. It was every lap. But it was a great race. What a great first win. Just every lap, I can't breathe at all. Just on the limit every single lap. But I can't be thankful enough for God giving me this opportunity to do all of this together, giving me my family that's good to support me, family and friends, and the team as well, teammates and the team for working as hard as I am during the off season, every week in the factory. So it's great.
Congratulations, man. Get up on top here. Evagoras Papasavvas, the winner. From Cooper Tires, Chris Pantani will bring him in the P1 trophy, the first of what will likely be many for this young driver out of Loveland, Ohio. Like he said, just 2.5 hours away from the home. And again, the spiritual home, of course, of Cooper Tires as well. So always great to be here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. And here is 3 young, talented drivers on the route to work their way to the NTT IndyCar Series midway through our USF Pro Championships presented by Cooper Tires. Of course, all 3 looking to try to go USF Pro Racing in 2024. And again, talented drivers for sure. A new point leader as well. Simon Sykes, a strong run into second position for Pabst Racing as his primary contender, Lockie Hughes, finishing in the 4th spot. Nikita Johnson, a tremendous drive, actually off the racetrack in the opening lap. I thought he was outside the top 10, actually essentially to the tail of the field, and Nikita fought his way back forward. He ends up finishing in 5th for VRD with fast lap of the race, so big points for Nikita Johnson as well. But again, these drivers here, man, we have ourselves a championship battle, and 2 more races still to go for USF 2000, part of the triple header. They're back on the racetrack again tomorrow. We have 2 USF Pro races as well. 4 races on the docket for you. Folks, the champagne rolling out here, and always fun for the driver to get a chance to do it for the first time. They're already negotiating because they have to wear these suits again tomorrow, so you don't want to get the suit dirty. Boys, grip it and rip it. Time to spray the champagne. Race number 1, and a first-time winner here at Mid-Ohio. It's Evagoras Papasavvas, the winner in USF 2000. Those of you joining us here live on the USF Pro Championships channels, thank you so much, folks. We do appreciate it. On behalf of Anderson Promotions, Cooper Tires, and Discount Tire, my name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.